Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 Kotal Kahn action figure. I ordered my figure from Amazon.com. It was delayed, but arrived 1 day later. It's about time we got a new Mortal Kombat character. They've really done a bad job at releasing a variation of characters. They simply seem to be focusing on a whole bunch of different repainted skins, which I do enjoy, but there's a bunch of other characters on the roster that should already come out. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, ages 14 plus. This is not a toy. I think it is hilarious when McFarlane puts out action figures. It is a toy. It's just a badass toy. McFarlane Toys, Mortal Kombat 11, Kotal Kahn. Here he is in the package. Looks like his hair or headdress is removable. He's got a giant sword and a display stand. One side of the pack, Kotal Kahn, Mortal Kombat. Other side, Mortal Kombat 11. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here he is posed up, walking with his weapon. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a headdress, but I don't really consider that an accessory. It's just separate in the package. He has a giant sword and then a display stand. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about it and check out the actual figure. So this is Kotal Kahn, a brand new Mortal Kombat character not released in McFarlane's line yet. They really have not been creating new characters, but a bunch of variants. It's about time we got someone like this. This wave consisted of a different Shao Kahn, a different Liu Kang, a Joker, and finally, Kotal Kahn. We don't know what the next wave is going to be. Hopefully it'll contain at least one new Mortal Kombat character. There are so many more they need to do. So let's take a look at him. Kotal Kahn. Face looks pretty good. Intimidating. He's got that armor. Gold. The detail of his face is pretty nice. Nice shading sort of under his cheeks. Shoulder pads, gold. Looks like double jointed elbows. Green skin exposed. A little sort of loincloth thing. Double jointed knees. Sculpting's pretty nice all across the board in this guy. You can see how his headdress is going to attach. He's got this peg here. Here's a closer look at his face or head sculpt. I think they did an excellent job on this guy's face. Now let's take a look at his accessories. Let's start with the boring stuff. He comes with his McFarlane stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says Mortal Kombat on the bottom. He's got one peg for the pegals on his feet. It's very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his headdress. Looks like a bunch of feathers here. They're made of a soft material, so they're not going to break off very easily. The sculpting is decent. Looks like it's teal with some black on the end. You can see how it'll connect to his head. Here's Kotal Kahn without the headdress. Then, with his headdress attached. Pretty nice looking. I can see why they included it separate in the package. Now let's look at his sword. It has this very distinct look to it. That rectangle shape, very straight edges. A lot of sculpting detail on the blade there. Handle's gold. Also got a good amount of sculpting detail. Pretty nice, unique sword. Here's Kotal Kahn holding his sword. I feel like the hands are a little bit softer. Some of the Mortal Kombat figures in the past have had really tight hands and it's hard to get the accessories in. He can hold it with either one hand or with two. And just one more up-close image of him holding the sword. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, not the top of his headdress, he's standing at about 7.25 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. It can look up and down about that much. Not too much there. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around. All that good stuff. Does have a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion. Bicep cut below that, hidden pretty nicely. Double jointed elbows, they go in about that far. His wrist has a ball in it, can rotate, it's going to be hinged as well. He's got ball joint in his torso, rotate around, not too much, pretty tight, forward and back just a little bit. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Pretty wide range of motion, but pretty limited on this torso one. You get a lot more out of the waist. Legs go about this far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation, medium at best. His legs go forward about that far. Back, not very much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle here, it's got a ball in as well. Forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and their toe articulation. Here's Kotal Kahn taking on Liu Kang in a round of Mortal Kombat. Round 1, fight! Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane Mortal Kombat figures. Here's the rest of this newest wave of Mortal Kombat figures. We have a silver version of Shao Kahn, Kotal Kahn, Joker, and then the orange pants, shirtless Liu Kang. Here's Kotal Kahn, next to all the different versions of Shao Kahn that have been released. Here are all the different Mortal Kombat characters McFarlane has made so far. We've got a total of 11 characters, and there are plenty more to make. I didn't include Spawn or Joker because they're not actually Mortal Kombat characters. I'm hoping they can crank out at least a couple more next wave. Here's Kotal Kahn, next to a couple of recently released Spawn variants. These are the two most recently released Mortal Kombat 11 figures, besides this assortment. And here, next to the recently released Green Sub-Zero vs. Shao Kahn 2-pack. Then, next to the previous assortment, this contains Noob Saibot and Cabal. And now, with the previous assortment, before Cabal and Noob Saibot, this assortment contained a repaint of Sub-Zero, a couple versions of Shao Kahn, a couple versions of Liu Kang, and a repaint of Scorpion. And here's the entire collection of McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 figures. I believe I'm fully caught up until the next Spawn variants. Then, next to a Mezco Mortal Kombat 10 Katana. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here he is, with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, all from different various video game properties. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. And now, next to some Jax-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST, or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, this is a very nice figure. His sculpt's fantastic, his sword is cool, his articulation's pretty good. I'm very happy they finally gave us another Mortal Kombat character from Mortal Kombat 11. Hoping they get more of us soon. If I were to rate this guy, I think I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10, but I'm really leaning toward an 8. It's a very nice figure, well executed. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.